Miss the old days? Today you have the chance to relive a bit of the past with the introduction of the Retro Dragon Claws Override. This is the second in a series of retro skins that they're putting out, but you now have the Dragon Claws in a purchasable bundle. This will cost you 200 rune coins, 180 for members, and it contains the replica Dragon Claw, as well as the offhand, and the new Dragon Wing Claw and Dragon Wing Claw offhand, which is a more modern take on those old classic weapons. And if the claws themselves are not your cup of tea, they are currently working on the very next skin in the list, the Abyssal Whip. You won't have to wait nearly as long as the time it took between this one and the previous, but here is the current work in progress. Pretty soon they're going to be launching a poll on their social channels to narrow down the final look, so be on the lookout for it to cast your vote in the near future. Next up, just a quick reminder that Double XP Live is still ongoing. You have until February 27th, 12 o'clock game time, to use up your 48 hours of Double XP. Hope you're getting your gains and getting the skills or goals that you were trying to achieve while you still can. That said, if you enjoyed the video so far, please hit that like button. If you're not subscribed yet and you'd like to stay up to date on all things RuneScape related, do hit that subscribe button. Thank you. Now let's take a look at those patch notes and see what's been added with today's update. Looking at some general changes, they fixed an issue where compacted jewelry did not consume charges when teleporting. Also an issue where compacted jewelry with 0 charges allowed players to teleport. The construction guidebook no longer leads players to the wrong location. It now instructs players to visit Remington instead of Taverley. The Sand Dunk Rest grabbing animation will no longer loop infinitely. Set skyboxes will no longer reset upon applying a filter. Fixed an issue where Quest Point Cape perk could not be activated from the 3rd perk slot on worn max capes and any eligible back slot items. Fixed an issue preventing the Master Max Comp and the Master Max Trim Comp cape overrides from being unlocked for some players. Fixed an issue where some of the players couldn't unlock virtual skill level achievements despite meeting all the requirements. Players can now destroy Dragonkin stars should they wish to do so. Fixed an issue with the Grand Exchange price per item taking too long to visually update after adjusting the price. Adjusted the functionality of some notification settings to be more intuitive. The offer option has been removed from the Western Wilderness Chaos Altar. Saren spirits and other similar distractions should now appear correctly at the Sentistan Cathedral. Added blocking to a rock that was lacking collision in the wilderness. Fixed an issue causing players to repeatedly attempt pickpocketing on NPCs, even though the thieving level required was not met. It should now be easier to interact with the fishing spots at the Prifddinas waterfall. Gravestones no longer spawn in an inaccessible area after dying inside the giant mole boss arena. Corrected an issue that prevented some players who had previously met the curator from starting the Desperate Creatures quest. Moving on to changes with New Foundations, the most recent quest that unlocks Fort Forinthry. There was a hotfix where the Argonite rocks from the Succession quest have been added back to the wilderness. Fixed various blocking issues around Fort Forinthry. Players no longer guaranteed to receive strange rocks instantly after starting construction. 2 hotfixes went out where players no longer able to place Dwarven Cannon inside Fort Forinthry, and fletching jungle logs at Big Game Hunter will once again turn them into wooden spears. They fixed an issue where the Fort Forinthry lodestone could be built without meeting the requirements. Duplicated hidey hole south of Fort Forinthry was removed from the game. Updated the blueprint table at Fort Forinthry to remove completed wall and gate blueprints when the relevant segment is completed. Fixed an issue where some of the Fort Forinthry areas did not benefit from the rested XP buff. Joining a player inside Fort Forinthry through the friends list no longer teleports into the wilderness. Players can no longer use the assist system to start blueprints within Fort Forinthry. You can no longer see other players' pets and followers when within the fort. Wilderness threat monsters will no longer spawn inside the Fort Forinthry safe area. And finally fixed an issue with the Afford My Own achievement. Previously creating the Tier 3 chapel would tick off the Tier 3 command center instead, and vice versa. Now the correct building will show as complete once it's been built. And that is it for your patch notes. Links to everything discussed in this video will be down in the description below. Head on over there and check them out if you wish to do so. If you missed last week's video covering the fort itself and what you can do, what to expect with the updates, the link to the video will be on screen now, so do go check it out over there if you have not. And I will see you with next week's updates when that comes out. See you then. Aloha.